Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, and all those terrible Jay and Silent Bob type pictures, man. You're listening to Drop the Mic, the only podcast that I listen to that I'm not a part of. Every podcast I listen to, I usually talk on it, but not fucking Drop the Mic. That's where I'm like, let me hear what the boys have to say. And now, we drop the mic.
Johnson. Bohemian Moravia.
Portugal.
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
I didn't ask a question. Sorry.
Were we competitive?
Tokyo, Japan.
A little.
Can't wait to go to college, man. All that studying finally pays off and you get to leave this hellhole.
Were we bored?
We will see a movie. The Amoeba.
To death.
Do this by tomorrow, you get a 50. What? We don't have to play by the rules. We can make our own. It's easy money.
It'll be fun.
We were putting the laws of supply and demand into practice. And then it snowballed.
You think you can break in?
There's gonna be a lot of money involved.
Our straight A's were our alibis. As long as our grades were there, we were trusted.
You think you can get away with anything, don't you?
Oh, yeah, if you're clever enough.
We were making so much money, we couldn't spend it fast enough.
What do you think he is? Some Chinese movie stuff? Hi, I am Chow Yun Fat.
Rumors about us came and went fast and furious.
So how does it feel to be famous?
Better than sex.
The more notorious we became, the more invitations we got. We didn't know half the people we partied with.
What are you guys?
A club.
Oh, like a math club or something? You know how you make decisions that lead to other decisions?
Gonna get us caught!
Then you don't remember why you made those decisions in the first place?
Get the gun! Get the gun!
Boom!
When you got everything you want, what's left? You can't settle for being happy. That's a trap. Study hard.
Welcome back to our humble San Diego podcast. We are your hosts, Wesley Swanson and Ryan Jimenez, and you've now tuned in to Drop the Mic. Here is episode 318, This is Growing Up, where we will be doing a mini review for director Justin Lin's Better Luck Tomorrow film from way back in the early 2000s. But first, let the traditional warm-up begin. What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Good, good.
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
I don't think we talked about this last week. I think we talked about it off air, but we got to talk about fucking Carl Urban is in talks to play Johnny fucking Cage in Mortal Kombat 2. How tight as fuck is that?
Yeah, it's leveling up for sure.
And wouldn't it be? I mean, he needs to go full Johnny Cage, right? Right, blonde hair, slick back, and everything, right? Like,
I feel like we know that he can play a douche pretty well. You know? Especially for him to get like another iconic character after he, you know, killed it as Dredd. Already. It's exciting stuff. I'm glad that they picked somebody that who I guess necessarily wouldn't have picked first for that role, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. It's already, that second movie is already better than the first, just by getting him to be in it.
You know, when I went to go see that, Susie and I went to go see it in the theater when it came out, and of course there was a lot of elements that I did like and things that I wasn't so keen on. But watching it, I rewatched it the other day, and I was like, oh, this is like pretty entertaining, you know? I
know, I get you, dude. I think I talked about this, like, I think I just saw it was a while ago I saw it, but it was like literally after everyone had seen it, including you. And I even was like, dude, it's like, it's bad. Like, it's not the greatest, but it was entertaining. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't fucking terrible.
I will die on the hill saying that they should have went the serious route of that first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
With the that you know, going old school with the Scorpion Sub-Zero beef and just kept it like that, and then like have people just be like, is this Mortal Kombat or is it not? You know, I would have liked that more traditional like martial arts film. It would have been totally like out in left field and a little bit better. Also, everybody out there, go back and listen to our Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat episode that we did for this podcast, where I just totally annihilate the fucking movie.
You know, that's a good point you make. I didn't think about that. If they would have stuck doing like that first 15, 20 minutes, and then kind of like pull maybe like not obviously not you're not going to pull something as epic, but pull something like I don't want to make this comparison, but like fucking Dune. How Dune was like this, like you got Dune and then it just fucking ended, right?
Yeah.
How badass would it have been if they would have done that like the whole movie and then not until the very end you find out Mortal Kombat and then the second one it could be the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean in what we got there was no tournament. So why was it called Mortal Kombat? That was my biggest beef. Is they never got to the tournament. I was like, okay, but you know, I'm pretty sure they're listening to the fans, and this next one, I'm hoping, cross my fingers, that it's a little bit more fleshed out.
It was announced by the Hollywood Reporter that a sequel is in the works for Disney's 2003 Freaky Friday, with both Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis in talks to come back. What are your thoughts?
I remember, I saw it when I was pretty young, but I like that movie. I know it's a remake already, right?
Yeah,
it's good. I did see like a tweet or something that Jamie Lee Curtis was like made a reference to Freaky Friday because Lindsay Lohan just announced pregnancy or something, right? Did you see that?
I didn't know that.
Did you read that? Yeah, that's a new thing too. I guess she's going to be a mom.
That's good. Good for her, and hopefully this sequel works out. It'd be fucking awesome for them to revisit it.
Look at Jamie Lee, man. Just
I know,
cash cruising on everything.
Have you seen those stills of her as Madame Leota in Haunted Mansion?
No, I have not yet.
Yeah, dude, it looks awesome. I can't wait for that. Taika Waititi, another Disney, is set to direct Scarlett Johansson's Tower of Terror movie. I think Scarlett's going to be starring in it, and I think her production company is going to be producing it. So it's pretty exciting. One of my favorite rides that is no longer at Disneyland.
I was lucky enough to actually experience that ride before they took it out, because it's now Guardians, right?
Yeah, it was one of the better ones, dude. I think it was probably my favorite next to Indiana Jones. Guardians is probably up there too for me, but dude, nothing beat Tower of Terror, dude. That's spooky, especially during the like Halloween when they do it lights out. It was like in the complete dark. All you heard was like the sounds. Everything else was dark. That was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then let's move a little forward. My last little bit of news, everyone's favorite brown guy right now, Pedro Pascal, is set to star in Weapons, the new movie from Barbarian filmmaker Zach Cregger.
I know our friend Susie's going to be excited about that.
Really? She likes him? I could have never known. Do you think? I think you've told me before she doesn't really fuck with horror, right? Do you think she'll go and see this?
Yeah, I think.
Or wait until it comes out on digital or something like that.
I think, especially Pedro Pascal will make that her whole non-horror thing, void for that for that movie. And then I don't know if she started it yet, but she wants to watch The Last of Us, which is obviously horror themes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think so, man. And I'm excited too. That's awesome.
Yes, very fucking awesome. And then, if anyone's listening from 20th Century Fox, Put fucking Barbarian on physical, please. God damn it. Everything else has gotten fucking physical release last like year. Fucking Infinity Pool. I saw Infinity Pool on DVD at Walmart. That movie made fucking pennies. What else did I see? Something else. Oh, fuck, something super obscure. Like, just put that shit on fucking 4K and Blu-ray ready. Shit.
It just, yeah, I think it just happened. It's just the studio.
Damn it. Disney.
Let's see. First up, Willem Dafoe has officially joined the cast for the upcoming Beetlejuice 2 film. Thoughts?
Monica Bellucci is going to be Beetlejuice's wife.
What?
Yeah. Wild, right?
That is pretty random, but that'll be fun.
Also, speaking of Beetlejuice, I saw something on Twitter the other day about how fucking, like, how awesome it would be, and then, like, they kind of have to fucking do that joke, right? Like, it has to open up with him sitting at that fucking couch and his number being called finally, right?
I mean, that would be a missed opportunity if they do not.
But yeah, dude, fucking Willem Dafoe, he can. It could just be a fucking hour and a half of just William Dafoe's face, and that would be fine.
What else do we got? Recently, Netflix announced a spin-off for 2018's Bird Box film, and it's entitled Bird Box Barcelona. Basically, they're seeking to expand the universe. The new project will be entirely in Spanish and take place in the same universe and time frame as its predecessor. You can look for that dropping on Netflix July 24th.
Shit, that's tight. That's already soon.
Yeah, just a couple months.
I dig it a lot. Just like how they're doing, kind of like how they're doing like a Quiet Place universe.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that first one, so hopefully this one will be just as good.
All right. And then in my last bit of small news, FX's hit show, What We Do in the Shadows, was recently renewed for season 5 and 6, and the 5th season is going to be dropping this summer.
I've never seen it.
Oh, that's okay.
Why does it always have to be you don't like something? What?
Because you're.
I tell you I don't like one thing, and you're like, now everything's like, oh, because you don't like it. Go ahead and tell them what I said I didn't like in our private off-air conversation.
It always comes back to the South Park, that very dramatic TikTok that you did. But I know that's not what you're referring to.
No, that's not referring. I mean, South Park. I mean, if you like South Park, I know. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to go there. I think the last thing I said that you were like, what was? I think this might shock a lot of people, but I think Christopher Nolan's kind of overrated. That's just me.
That's okay. It's still not. It's not CJ dissing Denis Villeneuve, saying that he's a hack. So
I'm not saying that he's not good. I get why people think he's good, but sometimes I think he just tries to do a little bit too much. He be doing the most.
Point made, sir. Point made. And then everybody's like jizzing their pants over the Einstein cameo in the Oppenheimer.
Dude, speaking of that, I saw fucking, have you seen that? I guess it was announced like I guess in like all of the shots of like where there's scientists, he used like real scientists. Like they're not actors.
Oh, really?
So like everyone, he's done that before. And someone like showed a scene from The Dark Knight when what's his name? Harvey is talking to the press, and I guess he used like real press, and you can tell because they don't know how to fucking act in that scene. Like they're just doing weird shit when the camera pans. That's how I say he's doing the most. Like you can put real scientists in your fucking movie, but you can't put any fucking black or brown people. Like,
I will counter that argument with people like Spike Lee, who's obviously a native to New York City, in his movies, a lot of the time he will put extras like cops or detectives or like people in the background that are not actors as well. So Nolan's not the only one that be doing the most, if you catch my drift.
You're going to sit there in a little chair and put those two in the same breath.
How dare you,
sir?
You're saying Spike Lee's not as good as Nolan? Is that what you're?
No, I'm saying Spike Lee is better than Nolan. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Again, I like Nolan. I like him. I just think he's overrated. And I'll be going to see Barbie on that day instead of fucking Oppenheimer.
And now it's time for the weekly recommendations.
All right, sir. That's a great segue into our weekly recommendations. What do you got for us?
Just one thing. I went to go see Guardians the weekend it came out. I fucking loved it. I think it's up there with the best of the MCU. I think it's definitely next to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, probably the best in this. What phase are they in? 5?
Yeah.
But I think, it's 1 and 2. I mean, and I wouldn't be upset if someone picked this over Black Panther or Black Panther over this. But yeah, dude, I think James Gunn he knows his comics, dude. He knows his stuff, and he knows how to pull at your heartstrings and make you care about characters that you wouldn't necessarily care about. And I think that's what's kind of, just like Black Panther, I think that's what's kind of missing from the MCU now is people, like, everyone wants that movie that's going to have, like, these 700,000 fucking characters in it and all these Easter eggs and shit. But it's not what's good for I don't think it's what's good for the MCU going forward. I think films like Guardians 3 that are more, story-driven than anything. Like, I saw a tweet that kind of said that Guardians 3 felt like it didn't really feel like an MCU-connected movie, right? It just felt like a Guardians movie. Like, he didn't have to connect all these fucking Infinity Stones and all these different fucking characters and why they died and why they're coming back. And I think that's another thing that's missing from the MCU, too, that movies can be standalone films and kind of still be in the same universe. Yeah, dude, Marvel dropped the bag with letting him go. I think he should be running the MCU and not Kevin Feige. And now DC has him. He's probably going to write the best Superman movie of all time. Yeah, go and see Guardians. It's fucking awesome.
I agree. I just watched that as well, and definitely was crying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it is. I saw somebody, and I'm going to do this like paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what they said, but they said something to the effect of Guardians 3 is a James Gunn movie first and then an MCU film second. And that's why I think that it's felt so much more authentic and less cookie cutter than we're used to with those movies. And it was in a perfect, in my opinion, send-off.
Yes, it was. Dude, the fucking soundtrack, like, that was probably my favorite of the 3 soundtracks.
Yes, because it was they continued to, there's so much music packed in, the fluidity of it feels so natural, and just the mixing, just in the music alone is already like outstanding. And the tracks, like we were talking about off air earlier today, the tracks that they chose are so like polar opposite and things that you would never imagine. And it's because, they're essentially picking like random tracks from a Zune, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it feels like. Cause like you put your playlist on shuffle and that's how he's using the music. But yeah, dude, the soundtrack is fucking so awesome. I mean, that scene with what's the scene where they're breaking out of where fucking they got like the like the little drive to see where Rocket's at, or like the where Nathan Fillion was.
Yes.
And fucking Reasons by Earth, Wind and Fire. And it's like a song that it just like that you would not think it fits, but it does fit with the context of what's going on in the movie and why they're doing it. Like, and two, like, I love the way he uses music in his movies because it's everywhere, right? Like, I'm sure like that scene when as soon as that song hit, my dad probably fucking jumped out of his seat because Earth, Wind and Fire is one of his favorite bands. And then fucking the very beginning, you have Creep by Radiohead. So you have these different types, genres of music and different types of age groups that you hit too.
Yes.
It's fucking awesome, dude. I honestly, like, I don't think I've said this with a Marvel movie. I can't remember the last time, but I wouldn't, like, if I wanted to, if I could, I would, wasn't so busy and doing work and stuff like that. Like, I want to go see it again just because of how good it was.
First up, it's a Hulu original, or Hulu and FX, I believe. It's the new 5-part miniseries, Dear Mama, about Tupac Shakur and Afeni Shakur, his mother. Basically, it explores their relationship together and then their lives separate from each other, and the kind of the backstory of everything. And obviously it's a very tragic on both sides in a lot of ways, but I learned a lot, and I love shit like this. I love documentaries or biopics, what have you, and this is very, very masterful stuff.
I've been wanting to check it out.
Yeah, dude, I think you'll enjoy it a lot. It's it's unlike anything I've seen, like as far as like the lore of Tupac. This is something special, you know, and because I wasn't the biggest fan, and I don't think I'm in the minority of when I say this, that the movie that came out a few years ago was not very good and didn't really live up to the standard I think that Shakur deserved as far as a movie based on his life.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, dude. That movie, I wasn't a fan of it either.
I mean, even the B.I.G. film was kind of mediocre.
Yeah. Both deserved way better.
All right, so you can everybody check that out on Hulu right now, streaming. And then next up we have a brand new, I think it's an Apple original. Yesterday I checked out Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, and growing up I always had the Back to the Future trilogy on rotation in my house all the time. You know, he's somebody that I grew up with, Teen Wolf, Spin City, all of that, and The Frighteners. So him, you know, battling Parkinson's was always a crazy thing to me, somebody getting it so young, you know, and this story is a very good companion to the book that he put out. I think it's been out for a little bit now. Whether you're a fan or not, I think everybody should check this out.
Like you said, I think everyone our age kind of grew up with those movies, and it always just kind of everything I've ever gotten from Michael J. Fox is that, like, it hasn't changed him, you know?
No.
And it's just insane how upbeat he is still in these interviews. I've seen interviews recently, like a week or two ago, about him doing press for this movie, and it's crazy how to think that he hasn't changed at all. Like, I don't know if I could be in his shoes and not be bitter about things and you know, upset about how different my career would have been, his career would have been if this wouldn't have happened. But that's why he's one of the best, dude.
Absolutely. And dude, everybody watch the movie because he's still so fucking funny with his one-liners throughout. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. And the movie is rated R, so it's real. You know, it's not doctored up. It's showing you like the like the rawness of everything that he's went through and continues to go through, and how he is just a fucking champion, dude.
Anyone younger listening and you haven't checked out fucking Spin City, which was a great fucking sitcom. I think it was on for like 5 or 6 years, right?
Yes.
ABC, I believe.
Yes.
That, and then fucking The Frighteners is so god. It's such a fucking solid ass movie. Go and check both of those fucking things out. If Michael J. Fox, if Back to the Future is all you know of Michael J. Fox, definitely go and check those two things out.
And the movie is streaming on Apple TV Plus, so check that out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
You decided you wanted to talk about a little film called Better Luck Tomorrow. It's rated R. It's from 2002. It's a drama. It runs at 1 hour and 41 minutes, and it's got a well-deserved 81 on Rotten. Written by Fabian Marquez, Ernesto Ferranda, and Justin Lin. Directed by Justin Lin, starring Perry Shin, Jason Tobin, Roger Fan, Song Kang, John Cho, and Karina Anna Chung. The film tells the story of a group of Asian American high school honor students who become bored with their seemingly ordinary lives and begin dipping their toes into the waters of petty crime. Better Luck Tomorrow was made on a micro budget of $250,000, with iconic musician MC Hammer and Cherry Sky Films stepping in to help ensure director Justin Lin's vision would become a reality. Once the film debuted at the Sundance Film Festival on January 12, 2002, the film gained lots of attention and sparked controversy over the film's cast and dark subject matter. In the midst of the project's positive feedback, MTV Films and Paramount Pictures acquired the rights, which marked the first film ever to be bought by MTV at that time. This in itself was a huge win for the Asian American cinema. The film did face some criticism for most of its Central Asian characters making questionable decisions throughout the film's runtime with no real closure or happy ending, but the fact of the matter is the film is loosely based on the real true crime murder case of Stuart Anthony Tay, the 17-year-old Orange County honor roll student was brutally murdered on New Year's Eve of 1992 after getting involved with some high school computer hackers who felt like he was going to take advantage of them, so they in turn set up an ill-conceived murder plot. The film itself changes a lot of details, but the murder is still intact, with our characters' fates being left open-ended. Better Luck Tomorrow is a unique tale of the coming-of-age subgenre that deconstructs a variety of stereotypes aimed at the Asian American community. Oftentimes in cinema and society, Americans tend to portray these people as overly smart or upstanding citizens, leaving an unrealistically high bar to attain. And what the film does very well is bring us into the perspective of the upper middle class Asian American teens who are still very much naive to the world around them, and obviously, like most kids in the suburbs, heavily influenced by the gang mentality and culture, without realizing the severe consequences that come after living that lifestyle. My main point here is not every story has to have a clear good guy, bad guy narrative, as long as you have an engrossing story to tell and your characters are rich and interesting. The representation and authenticity is unparalleled, leaving similar films like 2006 Alpha Dog in the dust. Strongly recommend checking out the humble beginnings of the would-be blockbuster director Justin Lin. Watch the film or revisit it now with the Stars app. 4 goldfish out of 5, thank you.
Very, very well said, sir.
All right, man. Let's open the floor to you. I know this was my first watch. So first of all, thank you for picking a movie and schooling me. It's always fun to kind of dive deep into something that I don't know about. So what possessed you to pick this, and did it have anything to do with Super Dark Times?
It did. Like, it kind of, Super Dark Times doing that kind of reminded me of this film. I think it came out in 2002. I think I saw it around, I think it was like a sophomore, junior in high school, like 2004, 2005. And it really kind of like, damn, like, I loved it. I think I saw it on like, I think right now it's still running as like all the time on Stars. That's why it's on the Stars app. I think it was on Stars or HBO at the time. I wanted to do it because I feel like it doesn't get, like a lot of the movies we try to do, it doesn't get the attention it deserves, especially with the representation of American Asians. And to this day, we've been recently seeing more casts of all, Asians, American Asians, but this is kind of like one of the first to do it. And I just thought that it needed the Drop the Mic spotlight so more people can check it out. And I 100% agree with you that with your rating, like it's 4 out of 5 for me. I will say it's kind of heavy towards the end. And if you don't, like you said, if you don't like an ending, you might be a little upset because it does leave it open-ended. But yeah, man, it's just one of those films that maybe it's not something you want to watch all the time because it does get heavy towards the end, but it's just very enjoyable. And I wish Justin Lin would kind of go back to doing smaller flicks like this, because this being his first one, he kind of knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, dude. Justin Lin reminds me of, in a lot of ways, was Rian who started off with little stuff like Brick, which is a very modest kind of neo-noir micro budget film that fucking slaps. And then as we've seen him progress in his career, he's kind of evolving from that, or like jumping into like the Star Wars stuff and just getting more opportunities. And then as we see time and time again, like directors, they kind of, some of them fall out of touch with their roots and they just start doing like these. And for instance, because technically Better Luck Tomorrow by many is considered like an uncredited origin story for Fast and the Furious, which is hilarious. By the way, I completely agree with you, and I think Justin should go back to doing darker stuff like this.
It also reminds me of too, and is how like I mean, I think he still can definitely make movies like that, but how big James Wan got, right? Like doing like his very first film. What was it? Am I blanking on James Wan's first film?
Saw.
Yeah. And then doing all these big blockbusters, fucking Aquaman, right? And then, but like 2 years ago, he whips up fucking Malignant, goes back to his fucking wheelhouse, and flips the script again, and kind of throws the horror world for a fucking loop. So I definitely think it's possible for him to go back to doing things like that, but money fucking talks, and those Fast and Furious movies made a lot of money.
They continue to do so.
Yeah, and I think I think he confirmed that it's a origin story for Han, which is by far the best character in that fucking franchise.
It's kind of interesting because it's like, but he brutally murdered somebody for what? To teach him a lesson? I know he didn't do it specifically, but they all conspired to do this.
Yeah, it's just like Super Dark Times, dude. Like it didn't have to get to that.
Yeah, because he was still alive. They would have gotten in trouble, but they didn't have to.
I think the movie, it didn't have to get to that. I think the real life murder and crime was a little bit more like premeditated, right? Like I was reading, they like planned it. I think they even dug the grave.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And they used a sledgehammer on him, which is fucking vile.
Yeah, yeah. But it still has the kind of the same, like it's like a cautionary tale. Like you want to be about that life, but it fucking gets, you're in the mud, and when you get that far deep like they did, and it has consequences. I like a movie that, I'm one of those people that likes an ending, like a solid ending in any type of movie. Like, I want that fucking ending. Like, I just don't want to be left like with fucking questions. I get why people do it. This is a movie that I definitely get why he did it. Because like you said in the beginning, like, I don't really think it needed it.
No, because them burying first of all, them burying the body in the backyard is completely juvenile. It doesn't make any sense. And they, even in the film, they forget, they bury him with his cell phone with the ringer on. They end up having to retrieve it. So it was just very kind of not thought through, the whole process. I don't know. Yeah, I think I agree with you too that I do like the kind of open-endedness, where you can either, put the pieces together for yourself, or look up the real case and see what actually happened to these kids, because I do believe they were caught.
Yeah, I think they all served. I think one of the main ones, I think they got paroled out in like 2012. I couldn't really, I mean, I'm sure if I did more digging, I could find. But yeah, one of the guys got out in 2012. But it happened in, the original one happened in 94?
92, I believe. 92?
And it's such like it's kind of like a slow burn, right? Like you meet these kids, and it's kind of like it kind of seems like it's going to be like a high school drama. But then they get deeper and deeper into it, and it's like you're kind of like, okay, what's going on? They're gonna get, this shit starts popping off, and they get a little bit more wild, and then the last 30 minutes is just kind of insane, and it gets crazy, and it pays off. The payoff is worth the slow burn.
Absolutely. The slow burn to me is more of like it is a coming of age film. So I feel like you get attached to Perry's character, and how he's kind of this kid who is super smart, but feels like kind of bored with his life, a little bit invisible. He's into this chick who has a boyfriend already. And then the boyfriend's kind of who is John Cho's character, is kind of, the way that he's interpreting it is that John Cho's character doesn't really take him seriously, and that's why he doesn't care that he's hanging out with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of plays in a lot with the ending, where Perry or Ben thinks that it kind of becomes like super jealous, and he finds out that John Cho's character is like low-key cheating on her, and he doesn't know how to approach the situation in a good way. And then of course his friends are in his ear, and they're like, hey, this guy doesn't take you seriously, and now he's asking us to fucking to pull this heist on his own parents' house, and he thinks that we're fucking clowns, and we need to teach this guy a lesson. So it turns into them roughing up this guy into, they accidentally go too far, or Ben's character goes too far, right? Because he comes in with the bat and just beats.
And it's crazy. You don't really think that's going to come from him, right?
No.
You going through it, watching the movie and see how they all are, you kind of think that might come from Virgil, right?
Yeah,
because he was kind of a loose cannon.
Yeah, and then they kind of they put that almost like a red herring in there for you when they're all like losing their virginities to an escort that they had hired, and then he pulls a gun on her, right? He's the one who pulls a gun.
Yeah.
So that's their way, the story's way of letting you know or misleading you into, okay, this guy's going to do something at the end that's going to fuck over all of them. And really, it ends up being the one that you think is the most clear-headed, where everything that's led up to that point, he just loses it. He snaps and goes too far. And then, of course, they do the thing where they smother Steve, that's right. They smother him, and they didn't have to do that.
It's such a terrible way to do it, and that's what happened, like, kind of in the real story, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's crazy because they went to town on the guy, on the victim with baseball bats and a sledgehammer, and I guess he ended up being still alive, similar to what happens in the conclusion of the film. So he wakes up, he's still conscious, and then they force him, before they bury him, to drink rubbing alcohol, I guess. So essentially they poisoned him so that he dies for real, which is horrible to think about, that people did that to somebody in real life. Much less kids, because they were all, that's something I didn't point out is, so our victim in the real story was 17 years old, this honor student, gonna go places, and the high school affiliates, they went to a different high school, but they're hackers, but they're also all like really great students. They were in high school as well. So it's just crazy that all these minors take it upon themselves to do this like insane shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. As much as talking about the ending again, as much as it kind of leaves it open ending, I kind of took those last, those shots of them getting like their yearbook pictures. I kind of took that as like how their life went on after. I think, what is it? Han kind of, he shaves his head, right?
Yes.
So I kind of took that as him kind of restarting. And then obviously what happens to Virgil, Perry Shan's character, Ben, he kind of just, his picture's kind of just the same as Han's. He's not smiling, kind of just looking into the camera. And then Roger, right? He's the one who has like this big cheesy smile on his face. Or Derek Rogers is his actor's name, but Derek. So I kind of took that as kind of like foreshadowing on how their lives went and what ended up happening to them. Or Ben fucking turned them in. Who knows? That was something he was talking about towards the end too.
Yeah, because he kind of got upset because he felt like they had taken advantage of him. And there's something, a key part of this film is Steve, right before they meet up with him, and he thinks that they're confirming the deal, right? Like the break-in when they meet up with him, but they're at a party. He's at a party with Ben right before that, and he was all, I just want to say you're right, like my girlfriend, like she's the one. Thank you, man, for like pointing that out or whatever. And it's a moment because you think, okay, Ben is not going to let this, let them do anything to him. And then it goes the opposite way. And then when they end up taking his car down to Compton to kind of frame it to look like a carjacking. Mm-hmm. And then they get, they kind of get pressed by some gang members, and you can tell like they're super nervous. It's another really powerful scene.
That scene too, when they're kind of when they're trying to suffocate him, and the camera is doing that pan, and it adds to the intensity of the scene and the stress of that scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Where it's kind of like circling them the entire time.
Yeah. Shout out fucking MC Hammer for giving him that money.
Yeah, I watched I watched a little interview where he said that him and Justin had met at like some electronics convention at random, and that Justin like shared the script with him, and that MC Hammer like really fucking like loved the creativity behind it. And so when the funds started to run out after they had already been shooting, Lynn called up Hammer out of desperation or whatever, and was like, you know, do you want to help us out? And then he wired the money almost immediately. But Hammer specifically says in the interview, yeah, but it wasn't about the money. It was about helping out my friend, like this artist, so that it could get, you know, his vision could come to life or whatever. And I thought that was pretty cool, because you would never think like fucking MC Hammer help this movie get made, and that's insane.
Before I had wrecked it, had you heard of it at least?
No.
No.
And it's interesting because even like the title card is very kind of similar to, at least to me, to Fast and Furious.
Yeah, dude.
But it's really good, man. And then the fact that it was shot, I believe, on 35, you kind of get that like graininess. It looks really good. Similar to, you remember how you said Super Dark Times was shot for cheap, but it doesn't look cheap at all?
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. It looks like they have a decent budget when they had like literally nothing and were like scraping together their pennies the entire time. I think I read that Justin Lin, he opened like 8 credit cards and used his life savings to get the ball even rolling, because it's like $3 million is considered a low budget. So what they were working with 250,000, which is, you know, that's like nothing. But then you do have stuff like the original Blair Witch movie that, you know, what did that cost? I don't know, like
$60,000.
And it's that's why it's considered, I think now, the most profitable indie film ever to be made, because it's literally was made for nothing, at least in Hollywood terms.
I think, wasn't Paranormal Activity made for shit ton, like less too? I think it was.
Let me tell you something, Ryan.
Go ahead, tell me, speak to me.
I'm not the biggest fan of Paranormal Activity.
Not even the first one?
I mean, did I watch it? Yes. Did I think it was effective the first time? Yes. But after that, I don't really see the staying power.
I get that.
You know, and that's not to say I didn't watch most of them. I think I enjoyed the marked ones a lot because it kind of circles back and references the very first one, which caught me off guard. And I really liked the whole, like, the representation, because it's like the Mexican family, right?
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah, that one was really good. But the first one, I feel like it's just it seems like 45 minutes of the movie is like white people doing white people shit. You know, and we're just waiting for shit to happen, or watching them sleep and a door open or whatever, you know, and it's that anticipation when you watch it, and they were very good. They were very good, man, when it dropped at fooling everybody into thinking it was real. And that is why I think we loved it so much at the time, because of the psychology of that, just like the Blair Witch. So that was like, Paranormal Activity was our generation's Blair Witch, you know, because of course, I think you and I were probably a little too young to fully comprehend what Blair Witch was doing at that time.
Yeah. I remember my brother going to see it. him coming home telling me, I'm like, fuck, I need to fucking see this movie, but I don't know. It seems like I'm gonna piss my pants. I was like, fucking, what grade were we in '99? Fucking,
I don't, 6?
6?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Paranormal Activity did have the same effect that Blair Witch had on that generation that it did on us. Movies like this and Super Dark Times, I know this was made a while ago, and Super Dark Times is more recent, but you don't need a lot to make good things.
No, you just get you get a solid cast.
They're all very believable as high school kids that get caught up in some shit. I think that's why it also works very well. And they're at this time, like we just said, they were mostly all newcomers.
Yeah, they were largely unknown. This is the type of shit that makes stars, you know. And I think that it helped kind of catapult them into stardom, especially how crazy it was for Sundance at them. I don't know if you've seen the video where basically they're doing the Q&A. And this white guy kind of stands up in the audience and he's like, tells the cast, how can you guys, you know, sit there up there and be proud of this movie that kind of, and I'm paraphrasing again, that kind of like sheds this like bad light on your people. Like, I don't agree with this. And just trying to make them feel bad as if he has, if he's allowed that, you know, that as an authority figure to even say some shit like that. And something I thought was really cool, and it made me even respect him a lot more, is Roger Ebert happened to be in the audience as well, and he stood up and he fought for the cast, and he was like, look, what you're saying is ridiculous. Like, if this was a white cast up here, you would not be saying, how can you do this to our people? Like, as Asian Americans, they should be able to tell any kind of stories that they want to, including this one. And everyone fucking flipped out or whatever. But I thought that was a cool little piece of trivia.
I think Justin Lin's directing Fast X. He directed Fast X too, right? Or I think he was replaced or something like that. Like, there's some Vin Diesel Fast and the Furious drama.
Yeah, because it's some other guy that I don't know that did the new one.
Yeah, I think he was replaced or some bullshit. Is my ass going to be there in the theater on fucking in a couple weeks when it premieres? Yes, I will be, because I want to see fucking John Cena with hair. And then there's that son of a bitch Vin Diesel said that this and the next one were going to be the last one. And now he's saying the next one's going to be broken up into 2 parts. So there's fucking 3 to finish the story.
3 parts.
Don't you think it would have been better if they would have ended on Fast X? Now it's just going to be fucking odd.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit either way, to be honest with you. But if I did care, yeah. Why? First of all, nobody... Harry Potter had 2 parts. Was the Deathly Hallows is part 1, part 2, correct?
Yeah, part 1 to part 2.
Twilight was Breaking. What's the last one? Not Breaking Dawn, is it?
Yeah, it is Breaking Dawn, part 1 and 2.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
But see, that's the key words you're saying: 1 and 2, not 3 fucking part conclusion. Why? Why? It's like the most drawn out thing. Just make a fucking, make a show at this point, you know?
Yeah.
What are you doing, guys?
I know we're jumping on, off track here, but these next couple of weeks are huge. Like, you had Guardians. When the fuck does this come out? It comes out, Fast X comes out soon. You have Guardians, Fast X, Transformers, fucking Into the Spider-Verse, Little Mermaid, all within like a month of each other. And I'm going to come out and say it. I think Transformers looks okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stoked that it seems like they're doing like the Beast Wars stuff, because that's something that I grew up with, and I can appreciate that. But I just hope it does something similar to Bumblebee, because that's the one that I really like.
That one is a good one. I would assume they're kind of. I would thought they were kind of retconning everything else because this one takes place in like '94 or something like that.
I mean,
it takes place mid '90s. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like they learned their lesson that everybody loved Bumblebee because it's like that's in the 80s?
80s, yeah.
Do you have a dare I say a favorite Fast and Furious movie?
Oh man. So many perfect films to choose from. You know what? I'm gonna go, dude. This might be a little awkward to say, but I'm gonna say when did the reboot Fast and that I like that one a lot. But dude, I have vivid memories of fucking skipping school and going to see Tokyo Drift, dude. And my man Han, that's when he made his Fast and the Furious his first appearance, and I just dug that. I dug him a lot. He's my favorite character in that franchise. I wish they give him more fucking time, but they can't because they have 75,000 fucking characters in it. Now Brie Larson. But yeah, I would say either the original Tokyo Drift because it got a special place in my heart, or fucking
which is just called Fast and
Furious. Go watch go to Stars right now. What's his favorite app? Check this film out.
What should we talk about for the next episode?
Okay, let's go Mallrats, dude.
All right. Our boy Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, if you're listening, please join us.
All right, man. Anything you got to plug before we get out of here?
Go right now. You're listening to this. Pull up Instagram and go and look up Pin Apart's new fucking Ghostface pin and go buy 1, 2, go buy 4 if you can. Because these fools do a lot and they deserve all the love you can give them.
We got a new Turtles pin out too.
That pin too. They got a little something for everybody.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
If you're stumbling upon this podcast and you're unaware of what we do, we operate out of San Diego, California, and we go by Drop the Mic. We are available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, Sods, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Luminary, you name it. If it plays a podcast, usually we're on there. So check us out. Give us a 5-star rating and a little mini review if you got a few extra seconds. We appreciate all the support, and for everybody who listens in every week, thank you. We do this all for you, so we appreciate you tuning in to hear us ramble on for about an hour and a half every week. Thank you, Ryan, for showing up and helping out. It's always a blast.
Always, dude. Always a blast hanging out. Always fun time to do this with you.
Hell yeah. All right. So, as Ryan chose, next week, we're going to be talking about Kevin Smith's masterpiece, Mallrats, which is going to should be a hilarious time. All right. So, until next week, this is Ryan Jimenez and Wesley Swanson signing off, saying good fight and good night.
Ben, you think Verge is gonna talk? No. What if he does? Dude, what are we gonna do?
Nothing.
Okay, let me think.
Why did you write that article about me?
What?
The newspaper article. Why'd you write it?
What are you talking about, man? I'm trying to fucking think here. Wait, do you think Han will be with us?
Later, Derek.